Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So for today's video, we're going to do a bit of stash stocking with some simple inked up background cards. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so this is what I'm finding at the moment. I need a lot of cards, a lot of simple cards, and I need them quickly and I don't have the time. Little Miss Charlotte does not like to be not held. She needs to be held at all times. So because of that, she needs to pretty much be, I need to make something really fast. So what I thought I'd do today is make a bunch of cards really quick. They're all going to be very similar, but they're all going to be a little bit different. So it's all kind of going to work out in the wash. So what I've got here is I've got a bunch of panels that I've cut to the size of like a half A5. I don't know exactly what that's called. But this is just an A5 piece of paper that I folded in half, or piece of cardboard that I folded in half, and we're just going to cut these down to sit on the front of these. I'm going to be using the same stamp the whole way along, and then we're just going to add some sentiments to kind of finish this off. So this is the Darkroom Door Daisy Delight stamp. It is a red rubber stamp, which you guys know I have investigated a little bit more recently. These sort of stamps, like my first one was that Hero Arts one, which I adore. This is another one that I'm having fun playing with these backgroundy kind of stamps. So I'm going to grab one of my little panels. I'm going to grab a little bit of blue tape and stick that on the back. And we'll just stick this straight into my Misty. You don't have to do this with a Misty. You can do it with just a big acrylic block, but I find the Misty much easier. And then I'm just going to line up the stamp on top of that, making sure I've got it all on, and we'll pick that up. And then because the stamp is now in the right spot and I've lined this up against the little line here, every time we do this it will be exactly the same. So then we're going to have some fun with some inks. So rather than using my inks to blend with, I'm going to use my inks to stamp with. So I'm just going to go through here and we'll just pick out a couple of ones that we like. I actually want to do, this one is Twisted Citron, Pine Needles and Chipped Sapphire. I want to do that one. So Twisted Citron, Pine Needles and Chipped Sapphire. We'll do this one first because I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a couple and then we'll kind of go fast through them because it's not really all that difficult. First thing is don't drop that all over your shirt because then you're going to get blue ink all over your shirt. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink up my stamp. Now you don't have to do these in threes, you could do it in two, you could do it all in the same colour if you wanted to. Are you sure that's Twisted Citron? I don't think it is. It says it is. Alright, I'll go with it. Pine Needles in the middle, and I'm just making sure that there's a bit of crossover between the two inks, and I might actually come back with a little bit more of Chipped Sapphire in a minute. Whoa, that's bright. Making sure that's fully inked up. Come back with Pine Needles across the top here just to make sure that it's all together. I don't want there to be too much of just a straight, whoops, that wasn't what I meant to do, but anyway, like a straight line. I kind of want there to be a little bit of blending happening here. And then we'll put our stamp back in the right spot again and then just stamp this down. So I'm also just going to use my brayer just to push on here. You don't have to use a brayer, I just find it gives me a nice sort of evenness. Ooh, I like that. Just gonna put that a little bit more. Now if you want to put more ink on here you can. Just, you know, you can see from where the stamp was where everything is. So I'm just going to actually put just a little bit more Pine Needles. I feel like the others are okay. More Pine Needles. I'm not even going to get the brayer this time, I'm just going to push. That's better. Oh, I really like the blend between actually the Pine Needles and the Chipped Sapphire. I think that looks really cool. Alright, so there's one, and all I'm going to do is put these off to the side, and then we're going to do the sentiments all in one go. So as much as, when I say these are going to be easy cards, I'm going to use 2 stamps for this. That's it, including the sentiments, just 2 stamps. Okay, so let's have a flick. Oh, I like that one. See what I can pick out next. Let's do something different. So I'm going to have Seedless Preserves, Picked Raspberry and Speckled Egg. No, that's Salvage Patina. Speckled Egg. Ooh, this one's going to be fun. So we'll do seedless preserves. And what I'll do is I'll do one more because this is really pretty simple. And then from this point onwards, I'll do all of these, but I'll do it in fast motion and I'll just write on the bottom, or I'll get Ryan to write on the bottom, what the colour combos are. So if you do want to follow, you can. I think it's just a lot of fun to play. I'm actually going to get, I haven't used my salvage patina yet, so I'm going to get that one out in a second and have a go with that because I have not yet used that one. And I want to use that with some Kitsch Flamingo. I think that'll be a really cool combination. Now I am getting just a little bit of ink on the edges here. I don't mind. It comes off really easily. It doesn't actually hurt. Whoops. Gotta put the stamp or cardboard in, don't we? Oh, one little thing just before I put the cardboard in. Just give the Misty a wipe over because the stamp is just a little bit bigger than the bit of cardboard, and so I don't want to accidentally get too much ink where it doesn't need to be. We are going to cut these down a little bit, so it doesn't matter if you don't get it absolutely perfect. I'm going to show you one other little trick too in a second, if this is right. Whoops, did I not stick that down hard enough? I thought I did. Oh, I like that one. So just while I've got that there, I'm just grabbing a little bit of washi tape. This is Chasing Planner piece, but any kind of washi tape will do the job. And I'm just going to mark out the bottom here. Now, if you have a really thick washi, like a Planners Anonymous glitter tape, that would work really well here too, but it's just going to help me know where to put it. So I know now I'm following this line at the side and this line at the bottom. Oh, I really like that one. That's really pretty. Alright, so here's number 2. Go ahead and clean this off. And like I said, now I'm going to speed through. So I'm just going to pick out, I'm actually going to do 12. And I'm going to do 12 because I'm going to use this sentiment set. This is from Uniquely Creative. It's the Card Making Essentials number 2. And then I'm going to use the die that matches up with this, and we're going to use just these to make 12 very quick cards all in one go. If you don't have a stamp set like this that does all the sentiments, you can obviously use the computer, you can use a Motex, you can use a label maker, you can use die cuts. Denise from Luscious Labels has some fantastic ones. I might do one card using that just to show you what they look like because they're absolutely awesome. But just to show you how versatile a background stamp like this is and how many different kinds of cards we're going to get just by mixing up colours and mixing up sentiments. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and stamp the rest of these out, and I'll just write the colours on the screen so you guys know what I'm using. Alright, so I have all of them there. I did with that last one, I did chuck in a 4. I just wanted to see what it looked like and see how it would go. There was a little bit of dog hair stuck in that one, which is normal in my household. So I need to pull that one out in just a second. Alright, so let's get to actually let's do the sentiments and then we can get to putting these cards together. So this is my Card Making Essentials number 2 stamp from Uniquely Creative. I'm then going to grab a piece of black cardstock. I want to use black here. I don't know exactly why I'm leaning towards black. I just think black will look better because they are so colourful and they are so, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, I feel like a little bit of black will pull everything together. So I'm just grabbing a bit of black cardstock and then I'm going to grab my powder and my brush. I'm going to put this all over here because we're going to heat emboss the white on here. This is me. I always find that more powder helps. I actually don't mind sometimes when it comes up that there's a little bit of embossing powder all over the place, but as much as possible, you know, we'll get that out. This is one of 2 essential card making sentiment strip stamp sets that Uniquely Creative have. The other one is really good for stacking. I really want the long ones this time, and as we go through, I'll show you what all the sentiments are. Oops, I just realised I need my bits under this because it's a bit small. Okay, that's better. Whoops, not a big deal. I'll come back over in a sec actually, just a bit more powder, never hurts. So put that stamp down, pick it up with the Misty again, and then we'll get my Versamark ink, ink that up. Go, I'm just making sure, just having a look at the sentiments, and just, now I've moved that, I'm not going to do that again, but that first one was fine. Then we'll go ahead and heat emboss this. So I'm just going to do it with white. It may take a little while. We're going to go ahead and do this, and then we'll cut it out using the matching die. Heated up, melted, I don't know, words. So I'm just wiping that off, so that's just wiping off that excess powder. It is a little bit warped, it won't stay warped for long. I guarantee you in a second when we cut these out you won't even notice. So I'm just grabbing, which is why I sound like I'm a long way away, I'm just grabbing my die cut plates. This is where we get out the die that matches this. So this is Card Making Essentials number 5. This works absolutely beautifully with their cutter parts, which is actually I think what it was designed for, and then the stamps come in afterwards. Now this is my little sentiment container, just to show you. I'm just trying to find, so this one was from the succulents kit. I didn't do a very good job of cutting it out, so that's my fault. But it comes as a printed, like a pre-printed cardboard thing. You can buy them for $1 and you get 4 lots of them. You get 2 for the Card Making Essentials, so either this one or the slightly smaller one, and you can get some for the round ones. It's really, really cool, and you just line it up and you just cut it out. It is that simple. It is so good. I really do love this. It's such a good idea. But then for this, all we're gonna do is just line it up. Just line it up, just using a little bit of washi. Better hold this still. So I'm just lining up where it looks like it's in the middle. It is really easy to do. The cut apart sheets have little marks on them for you, so they do make it really, really easy. This is still really, really easy. It's not difficult. Whoops, that doesn't do that. That goes there. And then I'm going to run this through the die cut machine really quickly. And then in a second, you're going to see we're going to have 12 perfectly cut sentiment strips all ready to go. And this is where this is going to be so easy, okay? That took a little bit, it took a little long, but it was because I was playing with colours and stuff. Like if you didn't play around so much, if you wanted to use all the same colours, that would be so easy to do. So now we're actually going to get to putting these cards together. So I have my pre-done little things. You can stick this straight on the top and a sentiment. And in fact, some of these, we're going to do that. Oh, I love this one. But you can also cut them down. So we'll start off with this one, which I'm going to just put straight on the front. I just think that looks awesome. Just making sure that they're dry. Yes, they are. Bit of glue tape. If you don't want to use glue tape, you can use adhesive. I'll get the words right in a minute. You can use liquid glue. That was the word I was looking for, was liquid. I just couldn't find it. But if not, you can use double-sided tape or basically any kind of adhesive you like. I'm using my scoreboard here just to help me line this up straight. Pull that off, make sure it's stuck. You can use your Misty too. If you've already got your Misty out, you might as well. And then this first sentiment that I've grabbed is "Thanks for making me smile." I'm not even going to look at these, I'm just going to stick them straight down. And you could do this in so many different ways. You could put this straight in the middle. That looks really cool, actually. Or you can put it at the bottom and turn it into a little flag, have it sticking off the side, have it centered. You can have it like this. Sentiment strips are fabulous. I actually really like the one in the middle. I think that looked really cool. So I'm just going to do a straight middle one. If you wanted to add just a little bit of dimension to this, this is something that I have done before. Just going to use this extra little bit of cardboard that's on the end here. Not watch this, you don't really need to watch, it's not that special. But because that's just a bit of wasted cardboard on the end there, I'm just going to run this through the die cut machine. I'm just going to do it off camera. Only reason I did it off camera was so I didn't have to pick the die cut machine and bring it back over. So I've got a bunch now of extra strips. This is a really cool, easy, simple way to add a bit of extra oomph to your card, especially if it's just a flat one like this. Glue tape on there. Thanks for making me smile. Line these up. This is much easier to do with liquid glue, I will admit, because it gives you a bit more time and it's a bit easier to sort of make sure this is straight. So I'm going to just put 2 behind here. And it's just going to give it this little bit of stack. Now obviously foam tape works as well, especially if you've got black foam tape, which I do have. Oh, I think I might actually be out of black foam tape. But it just it gives a little bit of oomph to this card, or to any card really, if you're just using just a simple sentiment strip on here. So a little bit more glue tape. If you're like me and not really very good at making things straight, this is where you get out either a T ruler or what I'm doing, which is just my little bit of tape on the back here. Glass mat ruler, so I'm just sticking that, just using the lines on the mat to make that straight. And then I know exactly, whoops, keep wiggling it. If it keeps wiggling like that, I'm just going to stick it down with a bit of, I'm going to use my ruler just to help me here, lining that up. And there we have our first card. Like I said, I played with some colours there, so that's why that took me a little while. But I think that's so worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and make all of the other ones up. Just so I'll read these out really quickly, but I'll make the rest up quickly, just so you guys don't have to watch, because they're all going to be very similar. We've got wishing you all things fabulous, happy belated birthday, stay calm and craft on, perfect for all of your crafty friends. Thankful to have you in my life. Now, I just want to show you one little thing really quickly. I've just noticed that on the bottom of that O, I just haven't quite, for whatever reason, when I was embossing, I missed it. Rather than throwing that away, or just sort of dealing with the fact that it's not right, I just grabbed my Versamarker pen. So this is the same stuff that's in that ink pad, it's just in a pen form. And I've just stuck, or just sort of filled that line in. The U's just a little bit as well. So there's a brush end and a bullet end. I'm just using the brush end because it's a little bit finer. And then I'm just going to heat this up and it will look exactly like it was supposed to be there. Sorted. So we've got thankful to have you in my life. Wait. Appreciate everything you do. Wishing you love and best wishes. Congratulations on your big day. Sending you big birthday hugs. Your friendship is special to me. Don't know if I've done you all kinds of wonderful, and thank you for your kindness. So, for every occasion they're there, and I just think that's really, really cool. This was one I messed up. I just want to show you this one really quickly. I did mess it up, and I think that's actually okay. I still don't mind this. I kind of think the shadow thing's kind of got something cool to it. So this one I'm just going to trim off just a little bit on each side. So what that's going to do is make it obviously a little bit smaller. So when I put this on the panel, whoops, wrong one. Some of these cards I didn't do the best job of folding, of scoring in the right spot. So and this is my little pet peeve. I hate cards that are not, what's the word I'm looking for? Not folded properly. It just gets on my nerves. So I'm just going to cut this down, and I'm just going to play it by eye until I get it right. See, to me now that's a little bit too much on the side, on the edges. But anyway. That's not too bad. So we'll go ahead and stick this one down as well. Same way we did before. You could really easily add in, oh, actually, I have an idea. Oh, no, I said I wasn't going to. I just had a really good idea actually of how to use this with a die, because you could use the Sending Big Hugs die from Lawn Fawn. It would look really cool here as well. But I did say I was going to do this with just one stamp, so that's what I'm going to do. So for this one, I'm just going to trim down the sentiment strip. So on the, it's got a little bit more on the left, a little bit less on the left, I meant, and just have this on the bottom. I'm actually then going to cut a little bit on the right as well and turn this into a little flag, just for something different. This one's a bit easy because I can just follow, because I'm doing it on the edge. I've just put that right up against the edge because I know that's straight. And we've got card number 2. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do these really fast. Most of these I'm just going to put straight on the backing. I'm not going to do anything too crazy with them. Or should I? No, I want to keep these simple on purpose. I'm keeping them simple. Anywhere though that you see me pull in the trimmer is because I've messed up when I've folded these. And like I said, I'm a crazy person and I can't handle it. to really quickly just show you something. So I messed this up in that when I pushed down, I mustn't have waited for the ink to dry as much on this one, or maybe just Victorian velvet is a little wetter. I did notice that when I was putting it down. So I've smudged the ink a little bit. So all I'm doing is I'm going to use the sentiment to hide the smudge. I don't have to hide the whole of the smudge. In fact, you barely tell it's there now. There's a little bit of a smudge here on the bottom, but not enough for me to panic about. And I think cards don't have to be perfect. I know I like them to be perfect. They don't have to be. But it just kind of, you can use the sentiments to hide some mistakes. So this one has a little bit of dog hair in the ink. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use the sentiment to hide the mistake, if you want to call it a mistake. This time I'm just putting the glue down on the card base first. It really doesn't matter. Just line that up. Whoops. The only problem sometimes with putting it on the card base is that it's a bit harder to put down. And so now, just because I know that I've had some trouble with the ink, I'm just going to use the back of my scoreboard to push down. Really love that orange and red combination. I think that looked really cool. I'm going to use another little flaggy one. Why is that stuck? Oh, it's the magnet. I was like, why is that stuck? I'm just turning this one into a little flaggy. This is actually a lot of fun. And I'm going to have 12 new cards, which I can send out to anyone I like, or just stick in my stash, which my stash is looking a little sad at the moment, so might be a good time for a stash filler. Here we go. I'm just going to finish these off. We're nearly there. Somehow I lost one. I don't know where it went. I don't know whether it went on the floor. I don't know whether it's gone under here. But anyway, it allows me to be able to show this last one. So these are the sentiments that I was talking about from Luscious Labels. I'm going to use that one, use one of these on here, because this is the other way that you can do this if you don't want to get the stamp set. Now, I think this stamp set is fantastic, and I think this stamp set is not the most useful one in my collection, but pretty dang close. It's pretty good. And I think it is. It's a for a card maker. If you make a lot of cards, whether that's you make a lot of fancy cards or a lot of these simple ones, I think having that kind of sentiment strip thing on hand is really good. But if you're not into doing the sentiment strip thing, if you're not into making sure they're cut straight and doing the embossing and all those bits and pieces, then having these pre-cut ones is really cool. And more to the point, I do know that Denise has brought out more than this collection. So this is the collection that was at Picture to Page. Now hold on, I'm just going to get this straight. I switched over to some new glue tape during that, if you saw. This is the other one that or the new one that I'm really enjoying. It's the Glue Dots glue tape. If you haven't seen the video in which I did all the comparisons, I will link it down below because it's pretty good. And this one still gives me the ability to pick things up and move them if they're not perfect, but that's pretty good. So this is the Sentiments collection. I think Denise has now brought out like a birthday one as well. The other cool thing you could do here, just as another sort of side note, if you didn't want to sit here and put all the sentiments on right now, or if you just wanted to have a bunch of cards ready to go, and then you wanted to have that jar of sentiments like I've got, this is how easy it is to just stick things on. So we've got a thank you, we've got a celebrate, we've got a congratulations, a just a note, and a happy birthday. I'm going to use the no I'm not. I'm going to use the happy, no, I'm going to use the happy birthday one. And just for something different on this one, I'm just going to add it up on some foam tape. So just plain old foam tape here, nothing fancy. Nothing fancy, but just to give this one a little bit of extra oomph. And there are so many other ways that you could add a little bit of extra oomph to these cards if you didn't want them just to be flat. And I'll go through them all in just a second. I didn't quite have enough tape on that. I'll go through all of them in just a second, show you each of them. Oi, come on. I messed up there. I cut a little bit too little a strip of foam, but that's okay. I can fix it. But if you wanted to add more to this, you could add gems. You could add... Where am I going to put that? Not on the top. Sometimes you just have to move it around until you find where your sentiment lives. Sometimes there's just a happy spot for it that just works really pretty. You could add gems, you could add sequins, you could add not adhesive dots, Nuvo drops, so much you could do. Alright, so here are my 12 cards. I don't remember off the top of my head all of the colours. I know this one was speckled egg, picked raspberry, and that would have been wilted violet or something like that. But so you've got that happy birthday, thankful to have you in my life with those gorgeous reds and pinks. I really like that one with the orange and the blue, although I wish I had maybe put the orange in the middle. Love the greens. I think that one's my favourite. That's Peacock Feather, Salvage Patina and Chip Pistachio. Stay calm and craft on. Not going to Denise with that pink. I really like that brown actually with the speckled egg. I think that really looks cool. Same thing there with the antique linen. Not a colour I would go to. That one is kind of bugging me. Something about it's not quite right. Do you know what's not quite right? The top's too big. It's straight, but it's too big. So it's easy to fix. That's better. It's just a slightly smaller card now, but no big difference. And that's showing you that you don't necessarily have to have them perfect. There can be mistakes in here and it's okay. I love the way that Salvage Patina and the kitsch flamingo kind of blended together there to make like a little purple colour. That's really cool. Browns with some greens. I love that one actually, even with the slightly messed up one. And that one's just pretty. I like adding the fourth colour. I don't need to add the fourth colour, but I think that looks really cool. So there we go. I've now filled up my stash with another 12 very, very simple cards. Like I said along the way, you could just stamp them out, have them ready to go, even just the panels ready to go. Put them on a card base, stick a sentiment on, have yourself a little pile of sentiments sitting here. Done. Done, done, done. And a lot of people, when I was at Picture to Page, I was talking to people about the Uniquely Creative card making. Everyone's like, oh, but what if I don't use all the sentiments? So, honest to goodness, the ones that are in there, you will use. There is no, you tell me that you're not going to use something that says wishing you love and best wishes. You're going to use that. Your friendship is so special to me, you're going to use that. Okay, maybe if you don't have any other crafty friends, Stay Calm and Craft On might be the only specialist one that you don't use. But to me, I reckon you'll use most of them and you'll be very happy to have that in your collection. And of course you can change it up. You can have this on a white background with black ink, or you can have it on a white background with gold, or black with gold, or however you want to do it. I just think the black really brings it into that. And you don't even need to use the strips. If you've got some of those big dies, like I said, like the big Sending Big Hugs one from Lawn Fawn, that would look really cool in this as well, with the flowers as the die, if you cut the flowers out with the die and then sat that on a card just up, it would look really, really cool. I might do that and have it on Instagram later on. So I hope you guys did enjoy this rather simple one. There's nothing too fancy here. It's just me playing with some ink colours. It's fun to play with ink colours. I miss doing it. Oh, this has actually been a lot of fun. I think more than anything, this has been a good sort of time to sit here and play, which I haven't had for a couple of days, so it's been nice just to sit here and play. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to be subscribed to my channel. Hope you guys have an absolutely awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!